in five. No, I'm just kidding.
That made me think of what was that show on MTV with the making the video when they would show the video at the end, the music video?
Becoming, was that it?
No, making the video.
Oh, making the video.
And then they would show the video and they'd be like, and five, four, three. And like the world premiere of Britney Spears Crazy.
I miss stuff like that. Welcome to Queers and Soaps. My name is Aaron. I'm one of your hosts, and I'm joined by my wonderful co-host, Tommy.
Hello.
Hello. And today we are talking about one of my favorite shows from my, I guess, preteen, teen age, the WB's Dawson's Creek. Now, it started in 1998, so I was like 11. I should not have been watching it, which I don't think I watched it fully until I got a little bit older, and then I rewatched the complete series. But it is one of my favorite shows. Tommy, how do you feel about Dawson's Creek?
That was one of the shows when it first started. I wasn't allowed to watch it because it was promoted as scandalous because of the storyline in the first season with Pacey and the teacher.
Which the teacher is Anna Demera.
Yes.
So, throwback.
Leanne Hunley.
Mm-hmm.
I was 12 when it came out. I was about to turn 13. I was like a month or two shy of turning 13. So I was in junior high school. I was in 7th grade. But I think by the time the second season came around, some of the taboo of the show wore off. I think I may have caught up on it over the summer when I wasn't supposed to be watching it.
I can just I picture you hiding under the covers, but with a remote control and a small little TV, like instead of a flashlight and a book, you're like under there with a TV.
Oh, I got away with a lot because my bedroom was upstairs and I basically had the whole upstairs of the house because it was just 2 bedrooms up there. So and like the roof was kind of like this. So I had the whole upstairs. I basically only needed to come down to use the bathroom and shower.
Well, I know I didn't really start. I know I watched it kind of live, season 5 and 6, but that's when I was a little bit older. So I didn't watch like the first 4 seasons until the DVDs came out.
Oh wow, the first 4.
Yeah, so I missed quite a bit because just because I was younger and didn't know about teen dramas, I guess. So.
Oh no, me and my friends used to talk about it like the next day during lunch break or like study hall or whatever.
It could have also been my mom was a 90210 fan, and they both aired on Wednesdays. So we watched 90210.
You're right, because you know how I said I wasn't allowed to watch 90210 and I also wasn't allowed to watch this. I remember watching the finale of 90210 and then watching Dawson's Creek in the same night.
There was at some point, I think they competed like against each other because they talked about Dawson's Creek held its own against the 90210.
So there's a scene in the second season premiere of Dawson's Creek where Dawson and Joey are now like together. They like admitted their feelings to each other. They kissed. And they're kind of flirting in the halls. And he like asked to take her out on a date. And she's like, I don't know, Luke Perry's back on 90210. And I was like, oh my God, he was.
So out of all the characters, who would you say was your favorite? Mine was Jen. I just love Jen because she came into town ready to, spice things up. And I just have always been a Jen fan.
I did like Jen.
But I know like in my family, my little circle of family who watched the show, Jen wasn't like anyone's favorite really. I guess because she was just, it probably was because we were very Christian and she's very atheist. So
Jen I did like her a lot. I don't know if she was my favorite though. She could get an emotional reaction out of me because she was such a good, intense, emotional actress. I'm kind of torn between Joey and Pacey because I love them as a couple, but I also love them separately, like on their own. I'm gonna go with Pacey. Pacey was my favorite character.
It's funny. I feel like that show could have well, it kind of did because when Dawson went away to film school, it kind of turned into Joey's Creek, which I
Yeah.
guess they weren't even at the creek at that point because they were in college. But I
Every
thought
once in a while, they would go visit Cape Side just to kind of bring
it's
it
like,
back
oh,
to the
we have to
Greek.
remind people that we are Dawson's Creek. So let's go back to Cape Side for this episode. Yeah. I don't know. I like Joey and Pacey. I mean, I liked Joey and Pacey better when they became a couple. I didn't like Dawson and Joey as a couple. It was meh, I guess. But there's
it's
something about her
it's
and Pacey that I liked.
it's funny when you're young and you're watching this. I guess you're so naive you don't really see it coming. But because Joey and Dawson were like the couple for the first and second season, it never even crossed my mind that there would be other options.
Well, I think they did a good job because I mean, I feel like you kind of expect her to end up with Dawson just because
That's how the show was.
that's how
And
the show was. Kind of like Lucas and Peyton, you expected them to end up together. So when they
well,
did
I didn't, but remember, I was a Brooke and Lucas fan.
hush, hush, you wrong, you wrong. Just when they revealed Pacey, I remember gasping like, like we were watching it live, and I just remember everyone in the living room just gasped because we were so excited that it was Pacey. Because we sat there that whole 2 hours like, who's it gonna be? Who's it gonna be?
For the finale?
Yeah, the
Oh, for the
finale.
series
The
finale.
series finale. Sorry, I'm jumping forward in time.
I know, we're talking like first season, you're like on 6 season series finale.
I mean, you know me, I go back and forth, but I bring it all back together.
It's interesting the things you notice in a rewatch because there's an episode in season one where Pacey kind of thinks he might want to ask Joey out and he asks Dawson for permission. And Dawson initially says yes, and then he thinks about it for a second. He's like, wait, no. And then he like Pacey respects like their friendship and he doesn't. It's because they share a kiss. I think Joey and him shared a kiss in the first season.
Yeah, because what is the movie? They're filming a movie, correct? And they had to kiss.
They were working on like a science project, like
Oh,
a biology project.
clearly I need a rewatch. It's been a while, I guess.
I remember the first like 3 seasons like pretty vividly. Season 4 through 6, I could probably stand to rewatch it because I don't really remember too much. I remember the big moments.
We're sitting here telling our viewers that we can't remember much.
Well, we're just talking about Dawson's Creek
Yeah, in general.
in the broad sense. We're not talking about any specific episode or.
I will say, rewatching it, it was like by then, when I had rewatched it from the beginning during my One Tree Hill, like watching that live and that. So it was fun that when I rewatched it, I would see all these locations because we love sets that I would see in One Tree Hill. Like Karen's Cafe was the radio station. In season 5, I was read somewhere, and I was like, "Oh, that's so cool to see it so different." And then, it was just really.
I've never really done that. There's been like obvious like docks and like waterfront locations that I've noticed, but I should do that. I should watch. Like
when I've mentioned on the show before that I've been to Wilmington, which that's where Dawson's Creek filmed as well, and we had lunch in the Leary's restaurant, whatever they own. And the only reason I went there was because it's like, this is the restaurant Dawson's parents owned. We are eating here. Very expensive.
Wasn't it originally Joey's family's restaurant?
No, they had a different restaurant. And the reason they burned it down was because is what I was told was the people who owned it didn't want to let, the studio use it anymore. So they had to write it out of the show.
Oh, that's interesting.
That's what I'd read. So, and I was like, okay.
I'll go with that.
Why'd y'all want to give it up? I mean, this is
Free advertising.
Yeah. But it could have been like maybe the show was popular, people were coming around, and because I know with Winter Hill, sometimes people don't respect boundaries. Like when I went to Winter Hill and saw Brooke's house, I wanted to go right up to that front door and take my photo, but I respected some boundaries.
Yeah. Did you take a selfie like from the sidewalk though? So the red door.
We didn't have smartphones like we do now. So I mean,
that's right.
Pull out my Razor in 2008 and go,
yeah. So anyway, back to like things you notice in a rewatch.
Oh yeah.
So in the season 3 opener, when Dawson asked Pacey to look out for Joey, and she's like crying and she like leans on his shoulder. Like it is so obviously foreshadowing of what's gonna go on this season. And I was just like, oh no, they're just like good friends. Like totally was side blinded by the fact that they fell in love. How naive could I have been?
There's just something about Joshua Jackson, the guy that plays Pacey, that I just love. I can see why Joey fell in love with him. He's just very like, he's dorky, but he's very, just, I don't know.
I remembered I wanted it because it was like obvious that Pacey wanted it. But I didn't know if Joey was going to reciprocate.
At first I didn't think she would either. I was kind of like, oh, okay, no, she's still hung up on Dawson. Yeah.
Yes. And then because the show had brainwashed me into thinking that Dawson and Joey were the couple, that I just didn't feel like it was like going to become a reality.
Kind of like how you think Brenda and Dylan's meant to be together, and then they kind of throw Kelly in there. So,
well, I never really thought Brenda and Dylan were meant to. I'm a Kelly and Dylan fan, so.
Man,
but that's a different podcast.
Okay,
we'll talk about that soon.
So,
there's a scene mid-season where they are opening the inn out of Joey's house, and like the whole gang like fixes it up and they pretend to be like guests, I think because a reviewer's coming.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I think Joey falls asleep on the couch and Pacey kind of watches her sleep. And
kind of creepy, but
I don't know if there was a quote or there was something that was said earlier in the episode about a sign that you're in love with somebody is when you could watch them sleep, and then they like showed that scene at the end and I was like, oh my god, he loves her.
And I was thinking, watching people sleep a little creepy to me. That's just me. I can't help it.
Meanwhile, I'm like, oh my god, they love each other so much.
And I'm like, I will. I guess now I want to talk about favorite episodes because I have a few. I love the hurricane episode in season 1. Okay. I don't know what it is, but I love when there's like a storm episode or something because it just very dramatic. Like Winter Hill had their very dramatic few storms, and then they had that Breakfast Club episode that I kind of like. But my favorite will always be the one where Joey and Pacey stuck in Kmart. I just love that they're stuck. I mean, there's no way someone's getting stuck in the store. But
was it Kmart or Walmart?
No, it was Kmart
or Best Buy.
It was Kmart. Trust me.
We're like plugging all these stores. I'm like Kmart, Walmart, Best Buy.
It's Kmart. I promise you. Go watch it if you have to. It's Kmart.
Oh, all right.
I'm not sure about many things in life, but I know it was Kmart. Watch, and I'll be wrong.
I think it was a Walmart, but
it was not a Walmart. I'm from Arkansas. I know what Walmart looks like. You have them everywhere.
Yeah, that's how we. I like that episode.
That's how we base towns around here. If you have a Walmart, we're like, "Ooh, you big town."
That was when Pacey was working for some big company. I don't remember what kind of company it was.
Stock trading.
Oh, was it?
Mm-hmm.
He had that goatee, and I remember while they were in the Walmart, she shaved it off.
That was my favorite thing Joey has ever done in all of 6 seasons was when she shaved off that nasty thing. It did not work for him.
And I remember like when she like patted his face with the towel, she was like, there you are. And I was like, oh my god, they love each other so much. And it didn't take much to make me swoon and want them to be together.
Is season 6 the one that has Jensen Ackles?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. I thought because Sean Michael Murray's in season 5.
Yes.
Okay. Sorry, that just popped in my
Chad
head.
Michael Murray started out as a love interest for Jen.
Mhm.
I don't remember his character's name. Um, and then somehow him and Joey became like a little bit of a thing.
I remember
Um,
that they did not go together well.
I was into it actually.
Really?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. I wasn't.
You know who I was actually really into in season 5? Audrey and Pacey.
They were like they fit together. I don't know what it was, but yeah, I'm with you there. He could have ended up with either one of them, and I would have been happy.
She kind of spiraled and they kind of like ruined her character a little bit in season 6.
Yeah.
But in season 5, she was like hilarious, and I thought that they were like a great
I love her.
comedic couple.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I really liked Audrey.
She
I
was
wish she would
just
have
like
been in the finale.
yeah,
Do you own the DVD of the finale?
yes, I own like the series, like the DVD box set, and then I also own the little that they released on DVD, just the series
So
finale.
when I watched the DVDs, I haven't done a rewatch in so long, so I haven't even streamed it. But when I get to the finale, I won't watch it on the DVD. I have to pop in the movie because I need to watch the extended, unedited, all scenes in there, Andy's return, like everything.
And that has the correct theme song.
The correct theme song, the correct music that was in the episode.
I will say though, I do like the other theme song they have for the DVD. I do like it, but it's not the theme song. I mean, I'm sorry. I mean, I like it, but it's not.
But wasn't that the theme song for Canadian viewers? I think
Overseas.
they had it. I think they always had a different theme song.
Yeah, all the overseas viewers are. Even though I know Canada's not overseas, but I just mean like overseas. That's the theme song they used.
I like it, but you associate the Paula Cole song
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
with.
That's the theme
I
song.
mean, Americans do.
I mean,
Dawson's
I
Creek was
guess
definitely
that'd be interesting to know if someone overseas is like, no,
what
that's
they
not.
associate with.
Yeah, like would they be like telling us, no, that's not the thing. That may be what y'all had when it aired, but that's not the theme song.
um, I think Dawson's Creek was, at least for the first 3 or 4 seasons, was the first show that had a lot of popular music that when I would hear it out and about, it would bring me back to like a scene from the show. So even to this day, I'm like, oh, this was playing when
I feel like it's
Dawson
one
was
of the
crying out.
first shows too that talked a lot about movies and TV shows within the series.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, it may not be the first one, but I mean, that was very heavy. It was movies and TV shows. But I mean, that's Kevin Williamson. He does that with Scream as well.
I was just gonna say,
So I mean, I love him. He's great.
he definitely. Oh, you know what's my favorite episode in season 1? The Friday the 13th one.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Season 1 had some good, like for season 1, they had some good episodes.
It definitely was like a soap opera because it was serialized, like the storyline was ongoing. But season 1 definitely had more
Kind of like standalone issues.
standalone episodes. Like we could say, oh, the
Hurricane
Club episode or the Friday the 13th episode. It gets a little more blurry in season 2. They kind of blend together.
Well, season 2 is one of my favorite guest characters comes around. You know who I'm thinking of?
Roswell?
No.
Who?
Abby.
Oh, Abby.
Yeah, who Jen kills, according to Joey in the later seasons. Yeah, she's drunk.
I was telling Aaron off air there's an episode in season 6 where they have like a party at Jack and Pacey's apartment. I don't remember.
Yeah.
I know it was Jack's, but I don't know if
Pacey lived there too, I believe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And Joey gets drunk and they're playing games, and she mentions that Jen had killed somebody in high school. And it kind of gets around the party and back to Jen. And Jen kind of confronts Joey and was like, you might not want to piss me off, but I had killed before. And Joey just goes, see?
Katie Holmes can really be very comedic and certain
Oh,
times.
you know who I think it was too? I think it was to Jensen Ackles because she may have been saying you may want to watch out. She's killed before or whatever.
Yeah, okay.
Said something to Jen. I have to go back and watch. I have to watch
I am
the
too.
Walmart / Kmart episode, the party episode.
You're gonna find out that's just the Kmart episode. It ain't no Walmart / whatever.
Do you know who one of my favorite guest stars, recurring characters is in season 6?
Season 6. It's the dude from Young and the Restless, isn't it? Greg. What's his name?
Greg Vaughn?
No, he's in Young and the Restless. He was Gloria's daughter or son. Michael's brother.
No. I forgot. That's actually what I knew him from before he was on Young and the Restless, but no, not him. Greg Ricart? No.
Oh, well, who else recurred? Oh, Oliver Hudson.
Yep.
I was like, who else recurred? I'm sitting here like looking in my database of Dawson's Creek knowledge. I'm like, where? Oliver Hudson.
I was actually really into him and Joey's relationship.
They were a good fit. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Speaking of, like, there's another season 5. Todd from One Life to Live played.
No, that was season 6 also.
I thought it was 5 too. Oh no, that was a different professor because his. Yeah, you're right. Todd's daughter on Dawson's Creek was Harley, who was the troublemaker kid that Joey had to watch.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. No, you're right.
And Harley's boyfriend
From
became
the OC.
Oliver OC.
And then he was also in the show called Hidden Palms by Kevin Williamson. It was on the CW for like 8 episodes.
I heard of that, but I never watched it.
I liked it. But the moment I started watching, I was like, this ain't going to last.
Was it soapy?
Very teen drama.
I'll have to find it.
Find it, please, and then let me send it to me because I missed that show. It had Julian's mom from Sharon Lawrence. She played a character in it.
Oh, really?
She was like one of those rich mothers, and you know.
Was there anybody else notable on it from soaps or future soaps?
Zach from the OC in season 2 is in it.
Oh, really?
Uh-huh. And then I think
you know what else I never watched? The LA Complex.
I liked it.
And which wasn't like kind of like Melrose Place?
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was a Canadian show that kind of was an import for us.
Mm-hmm.
So I enjoyed it. Yeah, it was like a kind of like a Melrose Place type thing, but the apartment complex wasn't as nice as Melrose.
And then I think I read a year ago, maybe before COVID,
I'm gonna read it like
that they were rebooting it. Did that get scrapped? I haven't heard anything since. Did it get rebooted already? Like, I don't know anything about that show.
Messed up a lot of stuff, so I bet it just kind of got pushed to the sidelines. Look at me putting in a sports reference on a
You're so athletic.
I know. I'm so butch. As I sip my drink with my little, you know.
Did you like, was his name Charlie in season 3? The one that was in love with Jen, the freshman? Was his name Charlie? The Leonardo DiCaprio lookalike?
I'm drawing a blank. To who
I remember. He was like so in love with Jen and she didn't want to date him because he was a freshman. He was on the football team. That's when she became head cheerleader.
Wait, head cheerleader, wasn't that season 3?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Season 3.
I thought you said. I thought. I'm in college years. I was thinking she didn't date. Okay, I now know who you're talking about.
And you're not following the back and forth.
Now I know who you're talking about. Yes. No, I didn't like him and Jen.
You didn't?
He seems so like. He was kind of like what's that character's in the OC season 3 that ruined it? Know what I'm talking about? He dated Marissa.
Oh, Johnny.
Johnny, yes. He's my Johnny in Dawson's Creek.
Really?
I just did not like. It's nothing against the actor. I just didn't like the character.
All right. I'm sorry that you're wrong.
Can't help it.
The character in season 3 that Jack dates, the one that he has his first kiss with.
Oh yeah, like Primetime's
First,
first like gay kiss. Yes, I remember that.
he played Parker on Buffy, and I hated him because of what he did to Buffy. So when he was on Dawson's Creek, I was like, I don't like him.
Same. I remember going, no, you hurt Sarah Michelle Gellar. No, but no, he was just so like he played the part very well on Buffy. So when
Oh,
I saw him
like
there,
on Dawson's Creek.
well, I mean, like that mean, just kind of what the part he was playing, he played it very well. So when he brought it over to Dawson's Creek, I was like, no, sir. That's right. It's time for you to leave.
You know what relationship could always make me really emotional? Jen and Graham's. Just their whole push and pull. Like, they love each other, but they're fighting, and like
I love Grams. Oh
I
my
think it also like resonated with me because I lived with my grandmother and she and I were very close or are very close. And it just, we didn't have a contentious relationship like that, but we could go at it like that sometimes.
no, I guess I could say the same because even my great grandmother and grandmother, like they're very religious, so I could see parts of them in like Graham's. Like they meant well, but sometimes it was kind of So yeah, I love Graham's. I have a
I
soft.
loved when Graham's like let Jack move in with them.
I know. Oh, when she. I'm getting emotional.
You're like, oh, Graham.
Graham let the little gay boy move in when he had no one else.
And to kind of fast forward back to the finale when Jen dies, and then she kisses her on the forehead and says, "I'll see you soon." I'm like, dead. I'm dead. Like,
I'm shocked. I was there to see Joey and Pacey end up together because her little speech where Jen's like, I don't care what you believe in, just believe in something. And I was just like, her whole little speech. I'm just like, I'm Dawson ugly crying. That's how. Like if I need to cry, I could watch that scene right now and I'd probably cry.
I didn't remember that scene being as bad as it was for James Vanderbeek and his face.
Oh, I'm still talking about Jen, her little speech. Did you?
Well, you just said Dawson crying.
Oh yeah. I just said I was Dawson ugly crying. Yes. So
yeah, I didn't remember that scene being the way it was until like the GIFs, whatever they're called, came out, and I was like, was it really that bad?
Well, then when you rewatch it, you're like,
ooh.
Poor James Vanderbeek. But Jen's speech, it gets me every time. Every time. And then she left her baby to Jack. I'm just like,
Do you think Jensen Ackles was the father? Did they say who the father was?
No, it was unnamed. However, I have pictured the continuation or the reboot in my head of what happens. Because at first I was like, oh, we can't continue on Dawson's Creek. Jen died. But Jen's got a daughter. So, it just takes place from Jen's daughter's point of view.
Yeah, and they showed Joey's sister's son.
Mm-hmm. And then Dawson's little sister.
And Dawson's little son. I was trying to remember who the kids were. I'm like, where did these kids come from?
So, see, we have enough to make a reboot.
We have a new generation.
I mean, they would be a little bit older than what they would need.
We would need Dawson, Pacey, and Joey to make appearances, though, to kind of tie it.
There was talk, though, at one point, right after Dawson's Creek had ended, I guess before it had ended, of like there being a spinoff called Cape Side where Joey was the teacher. She came back to Cape Side to teach.
Oh, yeah?
I swear that was something that I read. Or, I mean, maybe it was just something I
I'm
saw.
sure Katie Holmes did not want to do that
I
after
don't know.
6 years on Dawson's Creek.
Kind of like 6 years is that sweet spot where it's like, oh, our contracts are up. Bye. We had fun, but we're ready to do something different.
I remember, I think it was after the 6th season of One Tree Hill that somebody said, I don't know if it was the creator or some of the cast, were like, at least we lasted as long as Dawson's Creek as far as like seasons and episode count.
Uh-huh.
And I think they actually beat them.
Oh yeah, they would have
Like
beat them
two or three episodes by the end of season 6.
yeah, because the season 1 had only 13 episodes. So,
but I'm sorry, I'm talking about like
I was saying about that's how One Tree like that their first season being short is one reason why One Tree Hill was able to beat them.
Yeah, but season 5 of One Tree Hill was a little shorter too.
Only 18, but season 6 had 24, so it made up the difference.
Oh, it made up.
And then season 2 had 23 episodes. So it kind of,
But season 4 only had 21.
I know it balances out kind of for like the 22. Trust me, I know my One Tree Hill episode count.
So do I. Don't play with me.
Don't play with me either. I could One Tree Hill trivia off your ass. This is okay. I know it's One Tree Hill related, but since I was in the studio where Dawson's Creek filmed, that's how it connects. So we're on the studio tour. And they're asked, like the tour guys were asking questions, and what it was like, who plays Lucas's mom? And someone went, Deb, and I went, Karen? Like, I was so offended really? She got it wrong. I don't even know, but I just remember like turning my head, like, girl, no, that you're not allowed on the tour.
This was in Wilmington?
Yeah, at Spin Gems.
Oh.
I was like, someone get her out of here. She doesn't belong.
When you said studio, because I know you've been to LA, I was like, what? I was like, I thought they filmed in Wilmington.
There's a studio in Wilmington.
Is that the studio that Julian shot his movie in?
I guess it would have been because, that's where they filmed.
Yeah.
That's the only studio there, so.
I know, but like sometimes shows do that. They'll like repurpose a space.
I'm sure they repurposed a lot of it.
On Days, Salem Place was basically just outside in the parking lot at Burbank Studios.
Oh, back when we had
I miss Salem Place. Anyway, back to Dawson's Creek.
All roads lead to Days.
Okay, so in the Breakfast Club episode, when they're trying to like break out of the library while she's watching her soaps, when they peek in on her, she's watching Days of Our Lives.
I love when they do that.
And you see Sammy like threatening Kate, I guess, to expose the fact that she was Stefano's hooker or whatever. And I'm just like, I remember that.
It's like, well, Now 2-0 had one where they went camping and they're watching The Young and the Restless or something.
Oh, when Brandon worked at the beach club, his boss was like, "What did I tell you about interrupting Young and the Restless?"
Yeah. And then I know Supernatural did the same thing too. They do a lot of episodes where they play on their like selves and that. And in one episode, Sam and Dean become Jensen Ackles and Jared Padalecki. So then he's like, "I was on a soap," and it shows Days of Our Lives, like him and Nicole.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's really cool.
Huh.
So
what?
Oh,
go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna. So, what initially attracted you to Dawson's Creek? Like, what made you think like, "Oh, I have to watch the show"? For me, it was. I guess this is why I'm a Pacey fan. Joshua Jackson, because I knew him from the Mighty Ducks movies.
Oh yeah, sorry.
So I was like, "Oh my god, the guy from the Mighty Ducks is in a TV show. I have to watch this."
I pretty much followed his whole career, from Mighty Ducks to Dawson's Creek to Fringe to.
I haven't watched Fringe. I heard it's good.
It's really good. It's really good. I don't know if I can't really think of what attracted me to Dawson's Creek. I just pretty much I used to be very much if it aired on the WB, I was watching it.
But the WB was so small at that point. I think the only shows they had were Seventh Heaven, Buffy, and then they had like a Sunday night sitcom block, and that was it. They were still kind of expanding.
Yeah. But still, remember I watched it later. I didn't watch those first.
Oh, that's right. By the time you were watching it,
By the time I was watching it,
programs.
they had programs. So I pretty much watched. That was my network. Like my dream as a kid was to grow up and work for the WB. Like when they on Drama Queens, One Tree Hill's new podcast. I'm plugging the show. It's not even mine. When they're like, the WB printed hits, it's like, yes, it did. Thank you. Like,
I was actually surprised to hear that a lot of them watched Dawson's Creek. They were like, Dawson's Creek was my show. Like,
they kept calling it Dawson's.
Dawson's.
I was just like, that's interesting to see how they're like, because they're a few years older than I mean, probably 5 or 6 years older than us. So I'm wondering if people just called it Dawson's. Like we used to always just be like the Creek.
I think we just called it by its full name. So.
Maybe I'm just thinking because like the fake TV show they made was called The Creek at the end of it.
Yeah.
But on Will and Grace, Jack was like, he talked about, don't interrupt the creek. Yeah. Because that's when it came on.
That whole Creek storyline kind of ruined it for me for other shows. I kind of hate it now when shows do shows within shows. So when One Tree Hill did it with Ravens or whatever, whatever Lucas's book was that they were turning into a movie or show or whatever.
Well, they were
no, I can't do this again. And then they had James Vanderbeek on. I was like, yeah, just twist the knife even more.
Well, that one made a little bit more sense though to me to do it because One Tree Hill started out as a movie, Ravens. So, and then it became a TV show because they said they thought it worked better as a, drama.
They realized drama.
So that one I was okay with because it was like just coming full circle with how the show was in real life. Whereas Dawson's Creek also worked because Kevin Williamson based Dawson kind of a lot on him.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I've sometimes wondered if maybe that's why Dawson didn't end up with anyone. Because, since Kevin Williamson saw himself as Dawson, and, he's openly gay, maybe that was why.
But Dawson wasn't gay.
No. But I'm saying maybe that's why he was like, let's not end him up with anyone. We'll just let his career be.
Well, okay, so Kevin Williamson did come back to write the finale. He had left the show in season 3.
2.
Okay. Well, yeah.
He left after season 2.
Yeah. It didn't come out right. I meant to say season 3 was the first season.
Without him, yeah.
Yeah. And I always just assumed that he wrote the ending for Pacey and Joey because of how the show had evolved, and he just saw that they were the couple that made the most sense.
I mean, that's possible. I'm not 100% sure why.
Dawson was missing from quite a few episodes those last 2 years.
Quite a few episodes. It almost was like he wasn't even there. He was doing like guest spots.
Even when him and Joey got back together, it was very short-lived. And I just feel like, okay, they had this childhood friendship and they dated in high school, but it just didn't make sense to me that they would end up together. I actually was really into him and Jen when they got back together in college.
I liked him and Jen together.
In high school and college, or?
Both. I thought they were, yeah. I mean, I'm not sure why, but I don't know. I love Jen. Like from the moment she had that great introduction where she gets out of the cab and like it's slow motion and she's just walking and playing that song. I love a slow motion walk. So that could be why I'm just like, she's my fave. Just because I love a good, wind in the hair, slow motion walk.
I don't know how to say her name properly, so help me out if I'm saying it wrong. But Madkin Amik from Riverdale is in season 2. She dates Dawson's father.
Yes.
I didn't realize that was her until rewatch. I was like, oh my God.
I really forgot that.
She pops up in a lot of stuff in the 90s.
She does. I mean,
she was on Gossip Girl also.
Twin Peaks, Gossip Girl, Dawson's Creek, Riverdale.
She's on a canceled show from Darren Star called Central Park West that we're gonna watch
Wasn't
eventually.
wasn't she on Gilmore Girls too?
Was she?
I could be wrong. I don't know. I don't have IMDb just up and ready to go.
I know, right?
um,
Yeah,
but I
and
love her.
I love her too, and her hairstyles are always changing. That sometimes I don't even realize it's her until after the fact.
There was someone else was on there that was Pacey's brother, I think, was a soap actor too. I think he was on.
He was in Hyperion Bay.
Well, I think he was also on like a real.
He was on Hyperion Bay after the first season of Dawson's Creek. Because you know how the WB likes to repurpose their actors on other shows.
Hey, I like that.
Did you watch the spinoff, Young
I
Americans?
I was going to bring that up. No, I did not, because remember I didn't start watching until season 5 anyway. Sorry,
And that came on in the summer between season 3 and 4.
Yeah, that came out kind of bitchy too, the way I said that. So yeah. But
remember?
I wanted to watch it now, like, because it also has Ian from from the Vampire Diaries in it.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, it just seems. I mean, oh, what's that? The lead actress,
and it has an actress from the L Word in it.
Oh, does it?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, the one who Ian kind of. Their characters, like, he didn't know she was at the
She's
school.
Pretending to be a boy to be in the school.
Yeah.
So I didn't really watch the L Word. I watched the first season on DVD, and then I just never followed up. I liked it. I just never followed up. So I couldn't even tell you the character's name she played or the actress or anything.
The only thing I truly remember, I remember them advertising about Young Americans when it first came on, because it was like part of Coca-Cola.
Mm-hmm.
So I remember that, but I didn't ever watch it.
I've been on the hunt for those episodes for years. I can't find them, but
that's probably because nobody watched it. It seems.
I watched the first 1 or 2 episodes and I thought it was boring, so I stopped. But I wonder if I would enjoy it now as an adult.
It looks like it's kind of just a Dawson's Creek ripoff. I mean, it's even hard to say it's a spinoff, because really all they did was add a guy in season 3 that were supposedly friends.
Supposed to be one of their childhood friends.
Who we've never heard about before or anything.
Yeah.
And then he leaves to go to that show, and then when the show's canceled, that childhood friend just disappears.
We never saw him again.
Which I guess that could be real life in some sense.
Yeah. Speaking of characters that was introduced and we never saw again, Brittany Danielle's Eve, who becomes Jen's half sister, and Jen finds out after she leaves town.
Yeah. What's weird is when I first watched those episodes on DVD, I didn't like her. Like, I was glad we got rid of her. But I just rewatched.
Which is probably why they got rid of her the way they did, because a lot of people probably had the same reaction you did.
However, I rewatched the first episode of season 3 recently, and I liked her. And I was like, damn it, because I know she's not on there long now.
I think I had the same reaction. I think I like her better on a rewatch than I did when it first aired.
Because I like her. Like, I think she's really funny. She's in the show called The Game. And
you watched that show?
I watched a little bit of it, and I just loved how ditzy she was in that. I love it.
Never watched that show. I've been intrigued by it because I know it switched networks and it became a little bit more dramatic than comedic.
Yeah, it's like it went from the CW to BET, but then it went from being like a 30-minute comedy to an hour-long dramedy.
Yeah, so and it's available. I think the whole thing's available on Peacock, but only the first. I think only the WB seasons are on Netflix.
Okay,
but I think the whole thing is on Peacock.
It's not a bad show.
It's not.
No, I don't.
And I heard Brandy's in it, the singer, like in the later seasons.
Okay, I didn't watch much of the later seasons.
Oh, okay.
I didn't watch much of the. I just caught it here and there.
Okay.
I was more of a fan of the show Girlfriends, which is the game is a spinoff of that show.
I heard that. Yeah. Was Girlfriends? Girlfriends was a UPN show, right? It wasn't a WB show.
It was a UPN/WB show. I think it lasted one or two. I think it lasted one season on the CW.
Oh, it got caught up in the merger.
No, it went over with the merger.
Well, that's what I mean. Like
Oh,
Veronica Mars went over, and then they
yeah,
got canceled after one season.
yeah, pretty much.
Um,
But they were changing the CW. They were changing their demographic to be very just female focused, which is weird. They didn't continue on. But I think the president at the CW at the time was really going for those teen rich people drama because we got a whole lot of that there for a while.
well,
Privilege.
they were probably trying to capitalize on like the success of the OC, and One Tree Hill was a teen drama, but it really wasn't.
Not after season 4.
It wasn't really about rich people. I mean, some of them were wealthy, but it wasn't like Hollywood wealthy.
Not now to a no wealthy.
Another side storyline that I kind of was rooting for was Dawson's parents getting back together. I thought that was like a sweet thing that played out in season 3 because their divorce was pretty ugly.
Yeah.
And I kind of felt like, why did we go through all that for you guys to get back together one season later?
And then
how shocked were you that they killed him off? I was like, I couldn't believe it.
I wasn't really shocked. It was
really,
yeah. I think Abby's death, I think, was like the last death that they had that was like really affected the show. So it's kind of season
and
5
all over an ice cream cone that he dropped while he was driving. He had to reach to get his ice cream cone.
I liked him a lot. Maybe just because I thought he was very attractive.
Didn't he play like a superhero? Wasn't he like the Flash or something?
The Flash for one season on the WB or the CBS.
Oh.
But then he went over to.
I was going to say, I feel like that was decades before.
Yeah, it was like 90, 91. But he's played the Flash again in the new series, The Flash.
Oh.
He played a different version. And he played Barry Allen's dad.
So, way off topic since we're talking about people in soaps playing superheroes. So there was an 80s show called Superboy, maybe early 90s.
Yes.
Stacey Haidu was on it.
Really?
She played Lana Lang.
Kristen Demare played Lana Lang.
Mm-hmm.
I heard that show's really bad, so that's why I haven't checked it out. But
Superboy?
now I'll watch it. Yeah.
Is that on HBO Max with all the other DC stuff or no?
I'll have to go look.
I'm gonna find it. I want to see Stacey.
I know it was on DVD, or it is on DVD, but I heard it was really bad, so I didn't want to check it out.
I don't think it lasted long.
4
seasons. One or four?
4. Mm-hmm.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
They swapped Superboys though. Like the actor from season 1 isn't the actor that's in the other 3 seasons.
Oh really?
Yeah, the actor in season 1 of Superboy is from Melrose Place.
I know he's in the 7th season.
Yeah, okay, thank you. Because I was trying to think. I don't remember his name.
This is sorry for the tangent, everybody. This is all useless information I find out just clicking on things on Wikipedia, and I just
welcome to our rabbit hole.
We retain this useless knowledge.
I know. Sometimes I go, man, if I could retain the information from like a medical book, I wouldn't be in debt because I could be a doctor. If I could just one time. One of my exes went, if you kept the knowledge of like science or things like that you do of television, you'd be really smart. It's like, I know that's an insult, but I'm taking it as a compliment.
So you have anything else to say about the show?
Just that now I want to go rewatch it. Every time
I
we talk
definitely want to go check out this whole Kmart Walmart situation. I hope you're wrong, just like I rub it in your face.
well, I'm not, but no. No, it's to me, it's a show. It still, holds up in a lot of ways.
Okay.
I will say I'm shocked that I liked Lucas from One Tree Hill after seeing Chad Montgomery play like three bad guy type characters: Gilmore Girls, Dawson's Creek. Do you remember that pilot he did for like the Lone Ranger?
The Lone Ranger, yeah.
I I remember he was shirtless a lot in it. I remember that.
And then I think in between all that and One Tree Hill, didn't he do Freaky Friday?
He was in Freaky Friday. That's right.
And
Because I remember thinking, you seem a little too old to be dating Lindsay Lohan's character.
and what was the movie Cinderella Story with Hilary Duff?
Again, I thought you're too old to be playing a high school student, Danny. Then he was in House of Wax too.
Yeah.
This when did this become a Chad Montgomery episode? But no, I'm sure we could continue talking about if we broke it down into seasons and things like that.
Yeah.
But
they mentioned this on the Drama Queens podcast that Hillary Burton played herself in season 5 and actually had scenes with Chad Michael Murray, which I knew. But when they brought it up, I was like, yes, I like geeked out over it.
I love when she said they wrote a scene saying something about like being slutty or something. She's like, I'm not saying that. And
she made it sound like she does that a lot, though.
I know. Well, I mean, I was like, stand up for yourself, girl. Yes. But I mean, I would have been the same thing. Like, I'm playing myself and they want me to say that. Like, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
But I do love when James Vanderbeek does it in The Bitch in Apartment 23 when he plays like a heightened version of himself. I loved it.
Yeah.
So, well, okay, let's the 4 and the careers that followed after. Who do you think had the best career?
Michelle Williams. She won an Oscar.
I was just making sure you're on the same page. I feel like her and Pacey, Joshua Jackson did the most like after Dawson's Creek.
Well, Joshua Jackson had a film career before, and so did she. She was in Species, and she had done a few movies before that.
Oh, have you ever seen the movie Dick that Michelle Williams is in? I love it. If you haven't seen it, find it. She is so good in it.
I've seen it.
I love that movie. I'm talking about the viewers. If you haven't seen it, the listeners, watch it. Her and Kristen Dunst.
I'm telling you, I saw it. Why are you still yelling at me?
I'm trying to tell the viewers to watch it. It's really good. Actually, I don't think she's done anything I haven't liked.
No, I've enjoyed her in everything I've seen her in. James Vanderbeek has popped up in a few things in the most recent years, and I've enjoyed him. Like he was on American Horror Story.
He was?
No, that's wrong. He was in.
I was like,
he was on Pose.
Okay.
He was on a Ryan Murphy show.
He does rich asshole very well.
That is how he portrayed himself, though, on the B in Apartment 23. Though
you said the B. I'm like, when?
Well, that's what it's called.
Well, no, it's called the bitch in Apartment 23, but they block out the.
But I feel like whenever anybody says it, they say the B in Apartment 23.
Well, they should.
It's a rhyme.
They should call it what it really is.
Okay.
But whatever. He does play that like type of character, like that, because he played it in Dawson or One Tree Hill too, like that coked up like movie producer type persona, and I was just like, you've come a long way since Dawson. It's like this is what happened to Dawson if he got hooked on drugs.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
He showed up in season 6, like around episode 126, which is how many episodes Dawson's Creek had.
Okay. No, Dawson's Creek had 128 episodes.
You sure?
Yes.
Well, he showed up on whatever episode. that it was supposed to be.
Okay.
Is what I remember. Watch, someone's going to correct me because I'm probably wrong again.
I think you are, but it's okay.
Shut up, Tommy.
What
It's more fun.
I wanted to ask you, in season 4, did you like the character of Drew, the one that knew Jen from New York? Do you not remember him?
I don't. Wasn't he the one that got her in trouble in New York? Okay. Yeah, no, I didn't like him.
No.
What
Apparently, he was offered a series regular role and he turned it down.
What? I'm glad he did. You know, it's funny that we didn't talk about Audrey.
Oops.
You said that's
We
the reason
did.
you watched the DVD. That's the only time she popped up.
And I said that I liked her and Pacey together.
Yeah,
and
that
that
was
she's
good.
really funny, and that was all I had to say. No, I really like that actress. I love Busy Phillips.
That's not Busy Phillips. I'm talking about Jack's sister. I'm talking about her. Andy. Oh my gosh, I had Audrey on the brain. Andy, I'm talking about Andy. We didn't really talk about her besides that one.
I'm probably gonna say something unpopular. I didn't like Andy.
I didn't either. I kind of liked her in season 2, but I didn't like her in 3 and 4.
I don't like characters that cry all the time, and she cried a lot.
She did cry a lot.
I mean, although I feel like they all cried a lot, but she cried a lot.
I think I know the moment I truly loved Pacey. When he stood up for Jack in season 2, when that teacher wanted him to teach his face. When he was protecting Jack, I was like,
I thought about that moment the other day because I was like, maybe we should watch that episode and like do a podcast on it. But then I was like, let's just talk about the whole show as a whole.
Because, I mean, it's Pacey. It's hard not to like him. I mean, it really is. So, but I think
I didn't like how insecure he got towards the end of season 4, which led to him and Joey breaking up.
But that's because, they were about to go to college. Well, she was about to go to college, and, he didn't want to hold her back.
He kind of just like leaned into like feeling like he wasn't good enough. And I was like, I thought we got past all this.
But what's interesting is like, it's like, oh, you're going off to college and blah, blah, blah. He goes to the same city.
Yeah.
They could have still been together. Not everyone has to go to college.
Okay, something I did really like about the college years is even though they all went to Boston pretty much, Jack and Jen went to a different college.
Yes.
I did like that they did that.
See.
It kind of put a little bit more realism into it than everybody just ending up at the same school.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that, especially like on Out to, and I'm like, wait, you're in California. There are plenty of different schools you probably could have went to that didn't have to be the same one where you could have still been like, no. That was something I did like about Dawson's Creek.
I know. Andrea turned down Yale to go to California University. Like,
and it wasn't even like, yeah, I'm just like, girl, I want to turn down Yale. I mean, your friends aren't the nicest people.
I mean, at least Brenda went back to Minneapolis
but
for like 2 episodes before she went to California University.
She tried. She just
tried.
Went to California too much. She missed the heat.
But yeah, I guess that's pretty much all I have to say.
All I got to say.
So, but I am going to go back and watch those episodes from season 6. And
you're going to see that I was right.
I guess we'll see. I'll make a short video and post it on Instagram. Aaron was wrong.
And then I'll be like, Aaron was right. Mic drop.
But all right, guys, thanks for listening to us go on our tangents and talk about every other show on the WB besides Dawson's Creek.
If you stayed with us, you get a participation medal. If you followed us, you get a gold medal.
And speaking of following us, follow us on all the socials on Instagram, Twitter. Do we have a Facebook?
We do not have a Facebook.
Should we?
Oh no.
We'll talk about it later.
We'll talk about that. That's not your problem not you, the viewers. They're like, we don't give a fuck. Just tell us where to follow you.
All right, check us out every Monday and keep an eye out for some bonus episodes here and there.
Yeah, we've got some good stuff coming.
All right, guys.
Bye, everyone.